Like, whoa.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is presented by Underdog. If you're new to Underdog, today's the day. Get $100 in bonus entries when you play just $5 with code It Is What It Is. Plus, the next 5 people who sign up with our code will win a prize. You can make picks right now in most states, including Georgia, Texas, and California, just to name a few. So make sure y'all support the show, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Cam.
Killer, what's good?
What's good, bro? How you?
Good, man. What's going on, Stat? How you doing? You ain't got your glasses on today.
I know, I took them off. I usually do the glasses when I don't wear makeup. I was like, they can see. I don't care no more.
You don't care no more. Are you slipping? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
it's not about slipping. It's about embracing. It's like, you know,
Are you letting go?
no, letting go. You can never let go, I feel like. You always got to be to par, but it's okay sometimes to not
Okay.
have to do the most.
I see Cam got the pink hat on. Cam, everybody's wearing pink. I don't know which pink is yours anymore. What color pink is yours?
This color pink. They ain't smoking. They ain't smoking pink. Let me know when they smoking pink.
Yo, my brother from another mother.
Niggas is smoking pink. Niggas can never one up me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was October. It was just it was the month of pink.
Nah, a lot of niggas wear pink these days. I'm glad I made them comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trendsetter. Okay. So we're actually going to start with Antonio Brown. So he was arrested for attempted murder and is being extradited from Dubai to the U.S. This was after he was accused of trying to shoot at a man at Aiden Ross's boxing event in Florida. So now there is a tweet from AB. It's not a current tweet, but this was around the time that it happened. And he basically claimed he was trying to protect himself from people who were trying to jump him. Of course, the story is still progressing, but after hearing this news of our former analysts, what do you guys think of the situation, Mace?
Well, when it comes to AB, I would say this. He's a very misunderstood guy. I think when you really sit down and talk with AB, he's very brilliant. He's very brilliant. Outside of all of the antics or things that people see, he's a really really good guy. And I would say that. And I think it's too late to explain yourself once a murder rap is out there. You gotta leave that for the lawyers and people like that to handle those things. But I wish him the best. I wish this turned out in his favor because he seemed to be a person that's just like completely not just misguided, but just had a unfair share of events that went the wrong way. And I really wish him the best. Prayers up for him.
Yeah, that's media, yo. Like I said, I don't know what happened in that situation, but once the media wants to paint you the way they want to paint you, that's how people perceive you. We don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if, like he said, he could have been defending himself. And when you're in Florida, you could defend yourself when it
Yeah.
comes if you have a the laws change so much with the guns, so much, so on and so forth. But I know damn well you're allowed to carry if you have a license, and as
Mhm.
recently you're allowed to carry without a license. Don't get me wrong for all the Floridians and you're like Cam, you don't know da da da. I'm just telling you what my niggas tell me every few months. What's loud with the guns was not allowed. If they right, they wrong, whatever. I know this much. When we had AB on the show and we asked about a bunch of things that he was accused of, this was before this attempt murder situation. the way he broke down every situation made a lot of sense. So, like I said, I don't want to kick a nigga right down and be like, "Oh yeah, we don't know what happened." And right now, like I said, I don't know how many people seen our episode with AB. Go back and check it out if you didn't see it. It's still up on our network. But you sit there and think somebody be bugging. Then when you sit down and get their perspective of it, just a totally different story. So prayers up to him, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like every time that you ask him a question on the show, you're right. The things, the answers that he came up with just made the whole situation enlightened in a whole different type of way. So sometimes it's great to speak with people and find the other side of the story because that's what he did the whole time he was up there with us. Because before he came, we just all thought he was just crazy. But the more and more he conversed, the more and more we was like, wow, I never looked at it like that, and that was a lot of information withheld. So you got to know the whole story.
Yeah. Also, to Cam's point, I want to add because we do see how, like, once the media says something, like, they kind of run with it. That's what I think is so dope about this platform because I feel like we've taken a lot of people's different stories who have gotten really like misconstrued or like the media took it as one way and we've been actually able to give people those voices because it's also about perspective too and just seeing situations in a different way. And I think that it's good that we're able to see that. I mean, obviously you can hope that it's not true and we won't know until things kind of happen, but I do think it's important to also give people the opportunity to speak about things because a lot of the times it would kind of just get pushed up under the rug. So I think it's dope that we're able to do that on this side as well.
Yeah, and I think it's also amazing that even sometimes when people are considered guilty, they could still be innocent. Sometimes it take years for things that were ruled one way to be overturned. So I think that's really interesting as well, because you know how people say you're innocent to proven guilty. No, you're innocent until they say you're guilty. Even if they didn't prove it, if the judge say that's what it is, that's the verdict. So it's not always proven.
For sure. Okay, so also we're gonna move to NBA. So Jaylen Brown has lucky been getting called out for his hairline rubbing off on opposing players' jerseys mid-game. So when asked about it, he actually didn't deny it, and he went on stream to get a haircut and discuss why he thinks his hairline is deteriorating. He jokingly said, "I blame Boston, 10 years of stress, the media, the championship. Y'all caused this." But my question to y'all is, have y'all ever seen anything like this? And then what is your response to his reasoning for why he thinks this happening? Mace.
Oh man. I was just in the gym of Wheeler High School where Jaylen Brown comes out of that great program. Shout out to all the coaches up there, the players up there, King David. There's a lot of people coming out of that school that's gonna be phenomenal. And when it comes to Jaylen Brown, I think this is just something that's happening inevitably as these kids put so much time into their craft and work to get to this level, a lot of stress levels. They're making a lot of money. And the one thing I learned about God, he doesn't give you everything. Sometimes people got muscles. Sometimes people don't have hair. Sometimes people have hair, but they don't have, good health. It's like everybody doesn't have everything. Some people just have some things that other people don't have. And I know I probably messed my words up, but you got what I was saying. And I think for a person like him, you just gotta embrace it. Or you gotta use, I think they got something called Flow, where it's like a waterproof spray. He didn't have to do that. That his barber was being cheap. I blame his barber for that. I don't even blame him for that, because there's some people they stuff could wash out. I was even on somebody's meme one time. They said I got a hair piece, right? Because I've been brushing my waves so much, the front of my hair, when it sweat, it would curl. It would curl because I've had waves so long. All the wavers know this stuff, but I think that's funny when people say that. But his situation, when it's rubbing off on people's jersey, that's kind of crazy. One time I saw him do the move, and then he tried to go up and under, pause, and there was a whole black spot on OG's. That's what you're talking about, right? On OG's uniform. and I was just like, "Oh, this is not gonna go well." And then when I saw Shaq and Kenny get it, and Barkley got involved, it was just up from there. So I'm glad he embraced it. I'm glad he didn't try to, duck it. He dealt with it head on, pause, and that's the way you should handle it. God, you didn't get everything.
Yeah, he got homeboy from Miami. This is three people in a week and a half that he's done this to. There's like the nigga from Miami, he got him last the other night. The young nigga was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, what are you doing? This is what I have to say about all this. It isn't even really it's this simple for me. Cut your hair off. It ain't like you got a bunch of hair anyway. It ain't like you one of them niggas who got an afro, you got braids, or anything else. Get the bald head and keep it moving. It worked for your teammate Derek White, cut his hair off, and then that nigga started balling. He got more money and everything. Made it to the Olympics, all that shit after he cut his shit off. That's what I
Hmm.
would do. It ain't like you got a motherfucking afro. It ain't like you got braids. Cut your hair off. I know you young and you don't want to accept it. Cut it off. Secondly, I think if you cut it off, it might be better because you know what? What we're noticing is this, um, Jaylen Brown, and I fuck with you. You think you're a great basketball player, but you was looking like one of them niggas. And to the point where niggas was like, yo, he might be better than Tatum. Yo, I don't know. I would take Jaylen Brown out of the Tatum. Yeah, Mace, you was one of them. It don't look like it no more. Because when Tatum went out, you ain't do shit against the Knicks. You let them niggas beat y'all niggas. And this year, niggas don't even talk about you. You're not even a threat. Like when Jason Tatum is not there, nobody's scared of Boston. And you haven't been producing up to your $300 million contract that you've been getting. All we've been talking about is Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, what Jalen Brunson's been doing, the Greek Freak, Wemby, Luca, Shea Gildress, Oklahoma City. Without Tatum, you're not a topic. And for that money, you should be a topic for $300 million plus. Cut the hair, stop worrying about that, and focus on the game instead of trying to get online. I seen one video, he talking about he reached out to LeBron, talking about should he go to Turkey and get the hair plugs and all type of shit. Yo, my nigga, cut your fucking hair off and earn that 300 million because I know one thing, you got finals MVP, the other MVP, and maybe that's because niggas was focused on Tatum too much and then let you ball. But it's looking like you can't carry a team by yourself right now.
Yeah, I love Killer's take on this, but I think it's also about he's worrying about his hair too much. So he's not being aggressive because now he's going to the basket, his hair is rubbing off on people's uniform. So he's not even really attacking the way he should. But just you'll be in good company. Kobe cut his hair. Kobe had the afro. Mike had the dark Caesar. He got a haircut. It's just that time, bro. You put yourself up there with the greats. Get a ball head. Or at least get a one. Get a one and be cool with it.
So, real quick before you go on to the next topic, because Cam also brings up a great point, and so do you, Mace, because I feel like, yeah, we're definitely looking at other players aside from Jaylen Brown. So, when you guys make those points, do you guys feel like Jaylen Brown doesn't have that it factor, or you think he still does? It's just circumstantial.
Yeah, I'm the first person to say that he was Batman's on that team. So I still stand by that. I think he just put way too much focus into his appearance. And it's something to that. People say when you look good, you feel good. I don't know if that's still true in this generation. But when you're conscious about how you look every second, it's definitely gonna play into the way that you play. And I think it's just time for him to relinquish that part of his life and be the great athlete that he is. I still believe he has the potential to be Batman on that team, but he definitely got to stop being concerned with that because if that begins to take the focus, then before you know it, he'll just be doing hair club commercials and things like that. And for him to even reach out to LeBron and things like that online, it says that it's really getting to him a little
I totally disagree. And
bit.
Mace may be right. I'm not saying Mace is wrong, but if that's your focus and they paying you $320 something million, then what kind of nigga is you? I know we in a different era and everything else, but look, motherfucking Let's say, because you say he still could be Batman. You Batman, because ain't no Robin right now. It's
Yeah,
all you. Because, nigga, there's nobody else there. You have to, you by yourself. Are you Batman or not? When Batman did his movie and later, Robin was not in the movie. Batman and Robin's from the 90s. Once shit got in the 2000s, there was no more Robin.
yeah,
He's not carrying the team. And I'm not saying Mason's wrong, but if that's your focus, that's a problem. Michael Jordan left 2, 3 years. Scottie Pippen was arguably the best player in the league when Michael Jordan left. He finished, I think, second or third in MVP voting when Mike wasn't there. And the Bulls was still in second, third place without Mike. I don't see that from him. And
yeah.
it was never a time, it was never a time where it was an argument who's Batman and Robin with Mike and Scotty. Don't get that fucked up. It was never even a time. But when Mike left, Scotty became Batman. And Scotty was busting ass when he had his opportunity to lead his own team now. Don't get me wrong, he had Tony Kukoc there too, helping him out. But he still was the leader of that team. I just don't see it. And Mace may be right, but that's a big problem if you focus on your appearance. Like last year when they went out to the Knicks in the playoffs, it wasn't about the hair last year. Niggas started stomping on y'all niggas soon as Tatum left. But then you know what I don't like? After they got eliminated, and I'm not saying this is true and not true, he was like, you know, I was hurt the whole series, right? Nah, niggas don't want to hear that shit now, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, I was playing hurt. You might as well have kept that to yourself. You might as well not even told us that you got hurt because you wasn't looking good. Now all of a sudden you
It's
got hurt.
hurt.
Yeah, I'm not going for that. But I'm not disagreeing with Mason, just more to the fact that if that's the case, it's the hair this year. It's the injury like in the playoffs last year. Y'all the defending champs. The nigga fouled out in the third quarter of an elimination game on purpose, if you ask me. You can't go run into a nigga with 5 fouls in the third quarter. You can't do that. You know you got 5 fouls. So just my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, so another clip went viral, but this time of Kevin Durant. He's seen going back and forth with John Morant's dad mid-game while his dad was sitting courtside. So KD ended up telling him, "Your son don't want to be here. We know it's your last weekend. Enjoy your time." So seeing that exchange, we know Kevin Durant's personality, but this is what's going on right now. Mace, what do you think after seeing that exchange?
Well, I gotta be honest. I'm starting to like Kevin Durant trash talk more than basketball a little bit. Every time he gets into it with somebody, he holds no punches. I think the internet made KD a savage. KD was all mild mannered when he came in the league, very respectful, very matter of fact. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It seemed like over the last couple of years, Kevin Durant has just went left. He was doing it already on Twitter, but when it turned to X, he became a new nigga for real. On KD, I remember he's talking to Gary Payton. He went left, and I was like, "Wow!" He said that to Gary Payton. So he just kept the same energy when it came to Ja. He said, "You know what? Let me deal with this right now, so we don't have to remember this tomorrow." And I like that. I may take a page out of his book. Just deal with everything right away in real time.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, KD. You know what's crazy is that sometimes when we talk about KD, I did a recent freestyle on Talk with Flea. I did a recent like little freestyle, and in one of my bars I said, "This is one big blunder," like when OKC was down 3-1 to the Thunder. But then I had to come after that because I don't want no problems with Kevin Durant. I said, and this ain't about KD, so you ain't got to wonder. You got to put a disclaimer because KD is really a sniper on X Twitter, and he's not long-winded. I always put disclaimers out if you think I'm talking about him because he's very vicious. Sometimes when they show his tweets, I don't even know if they be real or not because I catch him on my timeline and I'm like, damn, if this nigga really said this nigga's vicious. Like they put up a picture of John Morant and Anthony Edwards like possibly being teammates, and then in the caption it said, "Who could stop? What would stop this combo?" And KD responded, "Glocks and baby mothers." And I was like, yo, this nigga don't give a fuck, my nigga. I was like, I don't even know if this is real because it's on Bleacher Report. I'm like, I don't think that they would sit there and snatch that out. But nigga, for Glocks and baby mothers would stop that
Yeah.
combo. He's vicious. But to the actual thing he was telling John Morant, it wasn't, like I said, Mace made a great point. And he's quick. He's very quick. Gary Payton. Gary Payton said something. KD just responded. He said, because Gary Payton must have said, I'm a Hall of Famer. KD said, if you're a Hall of Famer, you on this floor. I'm going to be on this floor. It's two different Hall of Famers. And then the same thing back to the original topic. John Morant's father's chatting with him. He just looks over at John Morant's father and said, you know he don't want to be here. This your last weekend. Enjoy your time here and walk off. To where you don't even get a chance to have a comeback. And now that's the clip. Very cool, calculated, and vicious, not just as a shooter on Instagram, in person, and on social media. An Easy Money Sniper is really a good name for him.
Facts. And I also definitely like it because I also like when I feel like players and athletes are more in tune and in touch with what's going on and can actually speak on it. I'm not talking about starting no fights or nothing like that because he made it funny and he's always cool, calm, and collected, but you will hear him. Versus some athletes, kind of like Tua, who went up there and was like, I don't know anything that anybody's saying on social media. Like, I'm not saying you should be worried about social media and what people are saying about you, but I think you should be in tune with what's happening. And I think KD embodies that, but then also can still perform well on the court and then can just hit different angles, which I think is important. But for some, it's
Yo,
not the same.
yo, listen, I had put up a clip on my Instagram of everybody who got injured in low tops on my Instagram. I had like 8 slides. And it was what Kyrie, it was a few people. I had KD in the slide. KD is the first comment, bro. I don't know how he got the first comment. He said, yo, that it ain't because of the low tops. A lot of niggas be misinformed, killer. I called the nigga phone. I ain't even got time for that.
Yeah, let's cut this now.
Yeah.
What's up?
I called the nigga phone. I said, you ain't gonna reel me into no beef on the gram. My bad. Maybe I am misinformed. You right. I ain't got no time for that, bro.
That's hilarious. Okay, now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. Obviously, we talked about the Grizzlies. So tonight, the Grizzlies will play the Mavs. Underdog has Ja
Mm.
Morant at 22.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
I'm going higher. Ja got to get in his bag. I'm really expecting Ja to turn this around, and they got to keep his trade value high. I don't see him finishing the year with the Grizzlies, but he's definitely gonna ball out tonight.
That's an interesting one because I was thinking the same thing, but then I'm thinking this is a great number, right? So you sit there and I'm thinking of what Mace is saying. You want to possibly keep your trade value high. But then you know what John Morant could do. You know what when he's in a happy space and healthy, he's easily 35, 40 if he wants to get that. So do you not go out there and ball so the team don't want to keep you? Like, yeah, y'all know what I do. I just can't do it with these niggas no more. So do you want to go out there and score 25, 35 points? Maybe, maybe not. Because if they see you explode, pause. Maybe we shouldn't get rid of this nigga. This nigga nasty. I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go higher, but I'll just give it both sides of the equation as well.
Okay. Jaren Jackson Jr. is at 18.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
I'm gonna go higher.
All right.
Okay. And Cooper Flag is at 17.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
Mm. I'm gonna go higher too. I'm gonna go higher.
Yeah, I'm gonna go higher as well. Cooper's looking a little more comfortable as the season goes on. I seen him catch an alley oop if it goes the other day, and he stood over a nigga and all that. Pause. He's getting more comfortable out there, so he should start be averaging about 20 points in the next month or so.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So, real quick before we go to break, just because we were on the conversation of John, now I'm curious. In a perfect world, right? What team would y'all want to see Ja play on? Mace.
Man, I think for me, Ja Morant at the Lakers would be crazy. Um, Ja at the Lakers would be crazy. Any city that brings that energy, I could. Let me even take back the Lakers. If you had Ja in New York, Ja in New York would be crazy. Somewhere where he can get the kind of media he deserves for that kind of talent. And so I think he really would thrive on the East Coast. Any East Coast team, you could put him on any East Coast team. And I think he turns up amazingly on that team. But I would go to Knicks. What else team on the East Coast? Indiana. Um, what else team? Brooklyn. Brooklyn would love Ja. The whole city would love Ja. I mean, you could just pick a bunch of teams. There's probably like 8 teams Ja would do well
I'm not sure exactly. Right now, one that comes to the top of my brain is just because the situations aren't working out in either place is Atlanta. Uh, Outside of that, I'm not sure. You have to realize as big as a personality Ja is, and Mason's right, he would thrive in a big market. But when you think about them teams, you already got Jalen Brunson in New York. You got Luka Doncic in LA. You got LeBron in LA. And you don't want him coming disturbing chemistry that's with a winning team already, especially the Knicks. Like when you got the Knicks right now, and they're not playing the best basketball, but they're not playing bad. They're 4-2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But you get that in the locker room. John's very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say cocky or arrogant, overconfident, which he should be. Which he should be. You know, when you ask Ja, yo, he hit a game-winning shot. You ask Ja, yo, what was that last play that coach drew up? It wasn't no play. It was Ja get the ball and get a bucket. That's what happened. And that's how we won the game. Those are things the niggas like this nigga. This
on.
nigga here, right here, bro. It ain't the coach and it ain't the team, it ain't nothing. It was go get the, you know what I'm saying? He's a very which he should be. I think he's a great talent. So you want to get him in a locker room where it doesn't butt heads with another big talent, or you don't want him to turn the locker room off. I would have to think about this because I don't think he's going to change his attitude at all. You know, his attitude is almost, and I don't want to use this as a bad way, but it's almost young boy NBA. He's not apologetic. He gets suspended with the gun charges and everything else, and the NBA kicks him out. And then what happens? His sneakers sell out in an hour. Marketing, fuck you gonna tell me, nigga, I got caught with the pistols and sold more sneakers. I don't know. You have to think of a team that's gonna tolerate that in the locker room. Also has another guard that doesn't necessarily have a point guard there that's already in control. But I do think he'll be great in a big market. I just don't know about the teams in the biggest markets because they kind of got point guards already set up there.
Yeah, and he would. I think Ja would do also excellent with the New Orleans Pelicans, with the Pelicans, because him and Zion Williams play AAU together growing up. So I think that would be a great matchup with them. The dunks will be crazy. It will be a lot of excitement in that city, and they got the pieces to make it happen. They got Jordan Poole, they got DeJounte Murray, they got pieces that can make that happen.
It takes. We will see where he ends up, if anywhere at all. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we return, we will get into Mac McClung and then the boxing fights being canceled. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, big dog? What's up, big dogs? Martin Luther King Jr. would be alive today if Tua was the shooter. Tua's passer rating can barely go to the club and get a bottle. 24.1 passer rating against the Browns. Marlon Humphrey is online saying that he wants to go on a glizzy tour. He wants to go to 50 states and try 50 blocks.
It's going to be challenging for AJ Brown. He typically stands outside the numbers a lot, and that's where PS2 thrives.
CeeDee Lamb said this is one of the best offenses he's been a part of. And as much as I hate to say it, I can see why he says that. I just said all these positive things about the Cowboys makes me want to throw up. So I know it's taboo to put your hands on your kids. I know. But I had to whoop your son the other day.
When I evaluate rookies, the best thing I can always say about the ones that are doing the best, they understand pass protection. Pass pro is where you see some rookies struggle. He's not doing that. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Welcome back. So before we get into Mcclung, we were on the topic of the Mavs Grizzlies game, but the Mavs announced its starting lineup for their game against the Pelicans. Did not have Klay Thompson in the starting lineup. Instead, D'Angelo Russell is starting in his place. So after hearing that news, how do you guys feel about the way Klay Thompson's career is going and then him not being in the starting lineup, Mace?
Man, I think when it comes to Klay Thompson, they're going to blame it all on Meg Thee Stallion. You know how this goes. People always look for somebody to blame. I think he's just at the tail end of his career. I would have liked to see him play much better. I have very high hopes for Klay Thompson on Dallas being one of my favorite players, as well as going to one of my favorite organizations. You know, I got a lot of teams that I like, but him being at Dallas, I was expecting him to ball out, I thought. But with Kyrie not there, I could see a lot of reasons why he's not thriving the way he could. But it's no excuse. He's a professional. He's a three-time NBA champion. Might be four. Is it 4 or 3?
4.
Yeah, he's a 4-time NBA champion. And somebody like Klay, you just expect to play a little bit better. But I'm not surprised that they benched him because, you know, you can't have him out there stinking it up, especially louder than D. And he's walking around with one of the hottest women from the state of Texas. So he just got to play better. But I could definitely see them trying to blame it on Meg Thee Stallion.
Sorry, I was just looking at some numbers real quick. So Klay Thompson right now is averaging 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 34% from the field. 29% from three-point range. This is probably the worst numbers of his career. Probably. Klay Thompson averages more, he usually averages more 40% from 3. He's only averaging 34% from the field, period. And lower than 30% from 3 and less than 10 points. He's had to make a decision, man. Like, yo, as a coach, as Jason Kidd is like, yo, bro, this is, and like May said, Father Time catches up to people, some quicker than others. You know what I'm saying? And this is just not really we kind of seen it towards the tail end of Golden State when he wasn't playing good. That's the reason Golden State didn't re-sign him. Last year, we seen some flares of him doing decent with Dallas. But this year, from these numbers, I'm not going to sit and act like I've seen all the Dallas games. I've seen them play their opening night and probably one other game besides that. But it didn't look good on those nights that I've seen as well. So with that being said, I see why he got benched, but this goes back to what Mace had a question about, I believe, earlier this week. What females are helping?
Yeah.
I need to make a list. I need to make a list.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to this. Cause there's some people that guys flourish with. It's some guys that they get this girl in their life and their career just take off. It doesn't matter if it's music. Like I think about a young lady I was with when I was writing all those smash hits. That was 2 girls that made all those records. And then I got with another girl and I couldn't get the same storyline. You know, and the same thing is true with some of these ball players. You see them balling out, they go with this other girl, and it's like all downhill. I can name probably like 8 basketball players. You'll be like, word, word, word. Like, and then you get with some girls and you just be winning. I think this is some truth to that.
Well, See, this is the problem as well, right? And I think Mace is correct, 100% correct. But let's put the flip the other side of the coin. You got a girl that you with and you're winning, not just winning, you're flourishing, you're one of the best players in
Yeah.
the world, everything, you know, fucking win championships, medals, all type of shit. And then she wants to go on podcasts and talk about she's not happy with her role in life. Talking about nigga,
No
now
comment.
he's winning too much. I'm tired of the gold
Yeah.
medals. I'm tired of league MVPs. I'm tired of the finals championships coming to my house. I'm tired of hearing about he the best shooter in the world. Do you keep her around? Because you be like, long as this bitch around, pardon me, I won't call nobody wife a bitch, pardon that. As long as this female around, I'm winning. Maybe when I retire, I'll get rid of her. But right now, she's helping me win. When is it all gonna match up? When is everything gonna when is it gonna match up?
Yeah, that's a good one right there, Kim. But
Yeah.
this goes
But,
back to
but
what I said earlier. Sometimes you don't get everything, you know?
sometimes you do. You know who I'm gonna give a shout out to? I'm gonna give the shout and it ain't for everybody. It's a 1%. Mason's right. A lot of times you don't. But the 1%. The big shout out I want to give the biggest shout out to, and it's not talked about this enough,
LeBron.
Savannah James.
Yes.
Word up. She gets the biggest credit out of anybody that I've known over the course of time. You've been with this man from the jump. You don't hear no nonsense about her. Not
Yeah.
only that, we sat there and watched them become kids, turn into parents, and watch their kids become great. I want to give a big shout out to that. Don't want to be too seen too much, not too much
Yeah.
talking. When she is seen, is very classy. Savannah James needs to get more flowers than she probably already is getting. But at the end of the day, you got these people who bringing people career down. Then you got these
Yeah.
girls who not happy with a nigga who career is in the sky. When is it all going to be pieced together?
Yeah, and you're right. Shout out to Savannah James because even when there was turbulent times, like we were saying things, we had to address certain things about Bronny. I saw her in a hotel diner where they had the food at, and I know she saw me. I could feel her looking at me. And everybody was like, "Yo, man, there goes Savannah James." And I was trying to act like I was tying my strings. And there was no way I could walk, but I had to walk past her and her girlfriends. I felt so bad. I was like, man, I should have chose my words more wisely. And you know how you feel so bad, you don't even say nothing. You just walk by, they see you, you see them. But it was just a very awkward moment. But even in that, she was very graceful. She was very elegant, very respectful. Even when she could feel like she wasn't respected. So double salute to Savannah Jane.
I agree with that. I'm just going to say, too, I think Savannah James obviously does an amazing job in all aspects. And I think another thing that I still feel like is really important is also just keeping your things private. They can
Yes.
work on things, they can talk about things. I don't know why, when like one little thing goes wrong, some people are just so quick to bring it, like, especially relationship aspects of light to the internet. Because, like Mace said earlier in the week, I forgot what we were talking about. The internet is not your friend. Like, they're
Yeah.
not, you can't go to the internet looking for sympathy because they don't give a damn about you.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do, specifically with their relationships. And it's never gonna work. And I totally like see how people like, okay, I want to become my own thing and do my own thing as well. But it's like, also with certain people that you're with, I'm not saying that you can't do that, but you also have to be able to do that a certain way with respect and regards to who your partner is.
Yeah.
Because you can do that with certain people. You want to get on the internet and talk any kind of way and say whatever you want to say and talk about those things. You could do that with certain men. You could not do that
Yeah.
with every man. And I just think it's like knowing the situation that you're in. So like I do agree with y'all on those parts. And now some of the things I do think it's like, because even with Klay, like this situation to me it sucks because it's like he was on such a high, and I feel like we've seen it kind of decline. And
Yeah.
like even his frustrations post game, like slamming things off the table, and then now you're not in the starting five. It's like, damn. And he's gonna have to work on that internally. But I just hope whatever happens, and if things happen between them, it's just kept between them. That's just what I hope. Because I like everybody to just, y'all know me. I like everything to be great, everybody to be good spirits, all that. But it doesn't happen all the time. We see that. So hopefully
Yeah.
he figures it out.
I think Savannah does an excellent job. I think she checks out all of the boxes, but I can't put her above my wife now. I believe my wife, she's the best wife of all wives. You know, we've been together 25 years, been through so many things, and she's just been there step by step, have never truly wavered on me, always been there for me. And I want to tell you, I appreciate you in front of the whole world. I thank you. And I believe the reason I'm able to do all the strong things I've been able to do is because I got somebody like you with me. And, you know, it's just a testament of just picking the right person. You know, and sometimes the right person gonna challenge you in a lot of ways. So I even thank you for that. It made me a better person.
Okay, so moving on to Mac McClung. So the Pacers are actually waived him. He's the reigning three-time NBA dunk contest champion. He signed a multi-year, non-guaranteed contract with the Pacers not too long ago, literally the other week, and scored 6.3 points and 11.3 minutes per game over 3 contests. So obviously, we always hear about his name when the dunk contest comes around, but how do you feel about him having so much impact on that, but not on an actual team in the NBA? What is your thoughts on that, Mace?
I think when it comes to Matt McClung, he's way overdue to be on somebody's NBA team. I think he has all of the pieces to be able to play. Sometime is politics, and I think this is one of those times where it's politics. And I'm surprised because he's a fan favorite. If he's on a team, the crowd loves him, you know, and he got the complexion for the protection. So I don't understand why is leading to rejection. He can dunk as a white boy. He can score. He can be that guy that comes off the bench, get about 6 to 8 points, you know, on a team that really matters. And I don't think that there's many people that's going to give maximum effort like him that's coming off the bench at that eighth spot, the ninth spot, the 10th spot. You know, I think it really comes down to politics, and I just think he doesn't have the right agent or the right people to put him in the right situation because he have all the goods. He's fast. He's explosive. When he first came into the league, people said he couldn't shoot, and his decision making was skeptical. But as time progressed, you can see it now. They'll show you highlights him being poised as he's coming off the pick, hitting the 3-pointer. You know he can get to the rim, and you know he's exciting, and you know he can play make. So I don't know what else the game need from him, but it may be a fact that the game has just got bigger. Pause. That everybody is taller, and that time of a 6 foot guard or 6'1" guard. Me and Killer was talking about that the other day. It's just over for that. It just seemed like it's over unless you're just supernaturally great. Is nowhere on the floor for that. It's a mismatch.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about it. I thought for the amount of minutes, for the amount of time he was getting, that wasn't bad numbers. You said 11, 6 points in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
that's that's actually really good. If you're playing 11 minutes and get 6 points, so you're averaging 6 points in less than a quarter. It's 12 minutes in a quarter. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't fitting into the organization. I have no idea, but um, maybe something will come out later that we hear why this happened. But I'm not sure. Mace is right. Maybe he needs to be somewhere else and get an opportunity. I don't know what's wrong with 6 points in less than a quarter. Uh, I'm really shocked. I think it's more behind this than we know, or maybe it's not more behind this. He just wasn't part of the chemistry. But I think he can help out on another team.
So I want to ask y'all this because this has started a whole bunch of conversations. Because when people talk about Mac McClung and what we've seen from him, and then even just his character, they're like, he's been very persistent. He's a hard worker. He's done things the right way. He's made sure he's had exposure. And then on the opposite end, when I say this is not at anybody. It's just what happens. We see people in the league who don't always show up and don't particularly want to be there. And like, even if their talent like shows that it's there. So my question to y'all is like, when do you feel like for a player, it's time to hang it up? Because we've seen a lot of different scenarios. We've seen people who've just declined over the years, and we've seen people who've tried really hard and it just doesn't work out. We've seen people who are just kind of over it. In you guys' opinion, when do you feel like it's time for them to be like, you know what? I'm going to just go lock in on something else?
That's a really, really great question, Stat. I'm really thankful that you asked that because there's two things that come to mind when I think of people hanging it up. Sometimes, you hear me say this a lot. It's based upon if you know your purpose. If you know you're purposeful in being there, then you can wait it out. Other than that, if you don't know that that's your purpose to be on that team or a purpose to do anything that you're doing, then I have this little thing that I go by, which seems like is a big thing, is I like to follow, pause. I like to follow where I'm being favored. Wherever there's favor, I think you should follow that. I think in a place where they're not celebrating you there, they don't want you there. And you don't need to be trying to force yourself to be somewhere where people don't celebrate you there. They're not showing you it's like a kid, even if they go to a school, there's certain schools people are going to work with you at. There's certain jobs that people are going to work with you through hard times on. And the same way with teams. There's a one team that somebody will say, hey, come to the gym. I'm going to work with you on this, or I'm going to work with you on that. And then there's other teams like, man, you better figure it out. And you got the Thursday, that's not a place for you to be because they don't have the time for you and there's no favor for you there. If there's no favor for you there, it's probably not going to turn out to the best of what your abilities could accomplish there.
Depends on who you are. That's first. Secondly, it depends on if you need the money. A lot of people sit there and spend money, and then them last few years, they like, I need this money because they fucked up some money, so they need some money to go home with. Depend on who it is. You know, I remember Kobe Bryant saying, kind of when he was in his prime, saying that if he gets to be one of them players that only average 16 points, he's 16, 17 points, he doesn't want to play anymore. Some niggas would die to average 16, 17 points. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it depends on what kind of player you are and what you're willing to accept and how much money that you've put away. All those things vary into factors of quitting and not quitting. I seen a recent interview, right, where Steve Nash was talking. He did an interview, LeBron's podcast and his podcast, and Steph Curry was there. And Steve Nash said, I'm gonna be honest with you, Steph Curry kind of forced me into retirement. Uh, when we played each other in a I guess it was a preseason game, he said he seen what Steve Kerr was doing to him, putting him in every action play against Steph Curry, and Steph Curry was killing them. So they had 45, 50 points in the first quarter, and Steph Curry just was torching Steve Nash. And he said he felt more disrespected by Steve Kerr doing that to Steve Nash because Steve Kerr said, this old nigga here stuff, put him in the blender the whole game. And Steve Nash said Steve Nash said he said he can't do it anymore. You get what I'm saying? I rem I remember David West. David West was a really, really good player. Played with Indiana for a bunch of years. Then he went to Golden State, San Antonio, a few teams, but he was one of them niggas on Indiana. He said the last 2 years he played, Joel Embiid put him into retirement. They said the big men are going to start getting this good, shooting the three, dribbling the ball in the post. I can't play anymore. Certain players send you into retirement too because you see certain things evolving in the league that sometimes the older player can't do. So it's just a lot of factors into, I don't think it's one answer for this. It depends on who you are,
Yeah.
it depends on your capability, depends on your mind state, it depends on your financial situation.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and And he made a lot of great points. Like, yeah, people definitely could send you into retirement because I'm thinking about a few people that, as you just see people doing anything much better than the way you've done it, it make
Mhm.
you feel like it's better to leave with a good name, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
No,
that was a great point, Killer.
totally,
yeah, man. That
totally
nigga
agree. Yeah,
said,
because
nigga
we've seen it.
Steve Nash said Steve Kerr's a sucker for doing that. So you gonna do that to me? You gonna put this young nigga? So yeah,
Steve Nash might be black after all.
yeah,
I
might
mean
be.
Steve Kerr. Yep.
Yes, he
Yeah,
put him. Yeah, he did some she bite stern shit to the nigga.
yeah, this is great. And I like the way that you guys answered that too, because I know I made it about players, but even just like what we've seen from like coaches and different things, kind of just like the way, I don't want to say the legacy turns because it's like you can't change what happened in the past, but seeing kind of how things continue to go, it's just like what would have happened if you just kind of left it where it was at.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not bad to do that. It's really okay. Like some
You
people are really
know what's gonna
go ahead,
happen
Kim.
is not to, and I'm agreeing with you. What's gonna happen
Yeah.
is this: you're gonna see more of it because as
Yeah.
much as the older players, it's two different games, and you got a lot of older people saying, "No, y'all niggas couldn't play with us when we was playing because it was rougher. You had to play man to man, etc." And don't get me wrong, that's still the golden era for me. Everybody has their own golden era. I'm talking about '90s basketball because we played around that time, early 2000s. But can these niggas do what these niggas doing? When you say the
Yeah.
most dominant big man, you sit there and be like, Shaq is the most dominant big man ever. You sit there and you say, okay, nobody can do what Charles Barkley was doing at 6'4", 6'5". But then when you sit here and let's think about other three guards. You sit and see what Kevin Durant is doing. Just shooting over niggas from three at
Yeah.
6'11". You know what I'm saying? Now you sit here and look at a nigga like Steph Curry. Nobody would ever think that a nigga would outshoot Reggie Miller and turn the whole league into 3-point games. Now you got somebody like a Wemby. Don't let somebody else 7'2" come in and have a handle and shoot from three. Big men are gonna start reevaluating if they could do it. It's like a few years ago before he retired or stopped playing. And niggas, I forget what team he played for, but they walked in and seen Dwight Howard practicing 3-point shots. And niggas was like, yo, what are you doing? He said, yo, the big man shooting threes, I gotta get a three. You know what I'm saying? But but it was too late. You
It's
know what
too
I'm saying?
late.
It was too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're gonna start seeing other people doing shit that niggas didn't used to do, and you're gonna have to think about it like, y'all saved me 116 million. I'm good. I'm gonna step down and start. I'm gonna open up a franchise of donut shops or something, man.
Yeah.
Niggas will send you home, man.
I could really I could really see Wimby sending a lot of people into retirement. I think
Mm,
after this season, a lot of people are going to be considering it because he's only going to get better by next year. By next year, the league is going to be all his. But right now, it's like it's coming into that time where people are watching him and going, wait a minute, he's the best player on the floor. And I think the more and more he owns that, it's going to be a few people consider that because they're not going to want to be number 3 and number 4. So it's going to be best, like I said, to just bow out.
Yeah. I just say nothing is wrong with retiring. We had a conversation about this one of our episodes ago when Katie was talking about how the game is evolving. And I think that that should be welcomed more because we're going to see changes. And even just back to the top of the show we were talking about, it doesn't even have to be on the court. Jaylen Brown, it's okay to not hold on to that hairline. It is okay to go bald. Like it is okay to be changing things. We do not have to keep doing the same thing. And it's okay to bring it to an end. I just don't know why people have such a problem with like kind of just leaving things alone.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta accept when your era is over. That's what I think is a good time for you to retire. When you recognize your era is over, it's going in a new direction.
But even if your era is over, I think that is okay to still evolve after that.
Yes.
That is my 2 cents. Because just because the era is over doesn't mean you got to be done. There are still plenty of things to be done. I think it's dope when people do different things. And that, again, is okay. But in the comments down below, let us know what y'all think about this conversation. Things are changing. Do y'all like it or do y'all not? But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.